Hello, welcome to the Cashing In on Creativity podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge, and this is a show where we take your creative talents and show you how to develop them into business ideas. The podcast blends the arts, imagination with entrepreneurship to show you how others have succeeded in their creative businesses. Hope you get some great ideas. Enjoy the show. Hey, today, welcome to another edition of the Cashing In on Creativity podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge. Today, we're going to be talking with Michael Botte of the Michael Botte Band. Now, Michael is an indie musician. We've been playing his music on our Lead Pedal Radio and those kind of stations. He's got a great rock, and we're going to find out exactly how he got into becoming an indie musician. His traditional job is in sales, and exactly what it's like being an indie musician in 2025. All right, everybody on the line, I've got Michael Botte with the Michael Botte Band. Sounds almost funny. How you doing, Michael?
Hey, it's good to talk to you finally, man. We've been trying to set this up for a while, but of course life takes over sometimes, but glad to have you here, brother.
I know this is, I keep saying I felt bad for being so long, but I know that you can become friends online. That's the way this is working, right? So,
yes, we met online.
Well, you know what? There was a day when I would have thought that's kind of weird, but
it's not anymore.
I got a few friends that have all been online originally, and now we're friends. So tell us, are you full time? We're gonna get into your music and all that. Are you full time? I know you're in Pennsylvania? Are you down by Pittsburgh, I think, or Philadelphia? Where are you?
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Pittsburgh, but life took me all over the place. But now I'm on the other side of the state, outside of Philadelphia. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I used to be a truck driver, so I used to be down there all the time. I was in Pittsburgh every week.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, probably across 76 or 80 or 95, for God's sake, 95.
Down 79 for sure. Well, I'm in, I don't know how well you know Canada. I'm in Burlington, which is west of Toronto, about an hour from Buffalo. So we would come through Buffalo is the way we're coming. And we're about an hour and a half right to Hamilton. If you know Vernon Hamilton, where I'm right there.
Yeah, right on.
But very cool. Okay, so you do this full time? Is this your thing? You must, because you're online all day. That's all.
No, so that's all an illusion. No, I do not do this full time. I have a full-time career, which I love very, very much. That keeps me busy. I travel. It does a lot of things for me. This is my side gig, but what's nice about having a professional page on Facebook, and this is probably what you're alluding to, is I can use my Meta Business Suite and I schedule all of my stuff weeks in advance. So it makes it seem like I'm there all day on, not at all. All my posts are scheduled weeks in advance. I do them on Sunday and Saturday mornings over coffee.
So do you want to tell us, what do you do then for your full, I hate saying, you know what? I hate saying full-time, part-time, because I've got 3 different businesses and people ask me that all the time. And I go, it's whatever gets in the calendar first. So do you want to tell us what you do? If you don't want to share, that's fine too. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's okay. This is the job that pays the bills. So this is an important one. I'm in sales. I'm a director of sales for a big company in life science industry.
Oh, nice. Okay. Good. Yeah, it's always good for people to understand that. And you guys, you've been very successful. You're doing a lot on your page. So how'd you get started? Have you been a musician since you were a kid? I'm not a musician. I wish I was. I played drums for 2 years when I was 13, but I thought you had to read music, and school and I did not get along. So that wasn't going to happen. But have you always been in music? How'd you get started?
No, so it's strange. I've been asked this question before. I guess for me, music started with my father. He never did anything professionally, but like growing up, he was a member of do you remember the barbershop quartets? And he was a member of a lot of musical theater, and he was the leader of the church choir. So I'm up there jamming with him, the church choir. And but just like his singing voice kind of became my first voice. So that was kind of my introduction into musical theater and music. But then as I got older, things changed a little bit. I never started even thinking about playing the guitar until I was about 25. And I just got married. And I thought, I want to try this guitar thing. It sounds really cool. It looks really easy. And I'm telling you, Bruce, I thought you just pushed a couple strings down, hit them with this thing called a pick, and all these great sounds are going to come out. That is not how it works.
Now, Eddie Van Halen might have something to say about that if you still here.
It was very challenging for me. So I was 25. I tried to play, didn't work out. And then I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I met this traveling cat who was coming around, and good guitar player. One of my best friends to this day, Sebastian Beltrami is his name. And he was like, hey, man, I'll teach you a couple things just to, mess around. And I kind of liked it. And we were messing around, playing, writing a little bit. So I never started guitar even thinking of playing anything until my early 30s. And then I just started writing songs voraciously ever since. I'm always the guy in the corner writing and playing and that kind of stuff. But until COVID came, till I had time, I never recorded a note in my life until quarantine.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So there was a benefit for some people.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of my songs are about COVID. COVID was it affected different people in different ways, as you know. It affected my family very, very unkindly. However, as you alluded to, the one positive is that the Michael Botte Band, as we know it, was born because I had time to like pursue something and other than working and traveling and, the world kind of shut down. And my daughter was a drummer in a few other different bands at that time. And she was like, Dad, why don't you try to make music? And I didn't even know what that meant, like make it. Aren't I doing that already? I
Yeah.
didn't know what it meant to put it on Spotify and Amazon. I had no clue. Well, I learned a lot.
Yeah. Well, you seem to be good at it because you're everywhere.
Thank you.
So yeah. Who's so your parents were a big influence as of mine. I was laughing when you said that because it's funny how my parents were from Guyana and they came up the year before I was born. So I was born here in Canada, but they're from Guyana in South America. But I tell people I took all the good things out of Guyana. My love of curry and roti and rum and beer and love of music. My parents loved to dance. They were very good dancers. And that's what they played around the house. All these oldies that I play, that's what they played around the house. That's where I got it from. I'm just like, it just brings back great memories playing that. But who's your influences as far as the, I guess the professional musicians was it the Beatles? Who would you say would be, because you're kind of on the rock side?
Yeah, it's strange because if you listen to I think I'm on my 13th recording or 12th, I can't remember. It jumps a lot. My producer and I do what we call genre jumping. What we call genre jumping. So like there isn't like one particular influence responsible for all the songs. Every single song has a different influence depending upon what I was listening to at the time. And there's a couple songs that I think you're going to play later that have absolute certain influences. But of course, more in that rock world. But the good news about, at my age, I'll be 56 here coming soon. Oh my goodness. Closer to 60 than 50. Oh my God.
You, man, I'm older than you already.
Oh my goodness. Well, you're still doing it. I'm still doing it. But we were very fortunate to grow up where all these different genres of music were invented. I mean, think about the early 80s, or think about the late 70s with the rap and the hip hop, and then, into the hair metal bands, into the grunge, and then, the other British invasion. There are a lot of different genres of music that were kind of invented, when we were growing up. So I'm a child of so many different influences, It's hard to pick one out. I mean, my favorite musician of all time probably was a gentleman named David Crosby. You probably know him from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and Crosby, Stills and Nash, and Crosby on his own. But he was a big influence for me. Just the harmonies. I love to put harmonies in every song that I do, and he was probably one of the best ever to do it.
I agree. I think that's one of the things I like is I always tell people I was born at the right time because I had that love of the 60s music, even though I was probably 10 years old in the 60s. I still loved it. And then the 70s, of course, was all the classic rock stuff. And I was a roller skater in my teens.
Yeah.
All the R&B and the rap came in.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, you had the big bands. And then I started trucking, so I got into country. And now I'm into everything. I like all of it. And the only one I haven't figured out is opera. I'm still working on that, but I will get there. I like classic. But
there's a beauty in everything, right? I haven't figured that one out just yet, but I could, I'm good at recognizing the beauty in a lot of things, but I still have to try that one too.
Yeah, well, I could see the talent there because I certainly couldn't sing anything like that. But as far as understanding it, now you've got the Michael Botte Band. Who's in the band?
Another good question. So I knew starting this because I started from literally nothing. I started from absolute ground zero. I knew at the beginning that there are going to be people involved. I don't know how, I don't know who, but there's no way I'm going to pull this off myself. And I even tried that though. I did put out a self-produced EP,
right?
That I put it out. I met my producer like a week later and I ripped it out of the universe. No one even heard the thing. So I tried to be my own thing, my self-contained unit, but I knew that there were going to be other people around. So instead of just using my name, Michael Botte, I did this great thing where you take my name, Bruce, and you put the word band. Now it becomes bigger. It's more grand. It's plural. So that's why I did the band thing, because I knew it wouldn't just be me.
Right. That was that. So now does the band play around? Do you guys do concerts? Is there somebody else, or is it your daughter when she's available?
No, the band is me and my producer, Bob Beals from Sound Foundation Studios. Who's been in the music business for 40 plus years. I mean, he just eats, breathes, sleeps, drinks music. And we met online in a chat group, probably no different than how we met.
Yeah.
And now we're on like our 13th recording. So he and I make every sound that you hear. I record locally. So we live 10 hours away from each other.
Wow.
I've never yet sat in a room with him. and
Wow.
we're on our 13th release. We just released one 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
We do everything, with technology. I mean, you'd be
yeah.
surprised how much music you hear. People never sit in the same room.
No.
It's
I'm
pretty
yeah,
rare.
I'm finding that out, and I find it quite amazing because if you remember back in the days of Led Zeppelin and all that, they would rent a house for 6 months and
Absolutely.
bury themselves and then come out with an album. And now it's done so differently. We came in before this interview with your song "Radiate," which I think was one of the first ones that you sent to me,
Oh,
and I think it was a great one, and it's the one that kind of connected us. And now we've got "Shine Down." I want to play this one. Tell us about "Shine Down." This was one of your recent ones that you sent not too long ago.
yeah, so Shinedown was released this summer, and I wrote that. That was a COVID song. Again, like I said, COVID for many different reasons wasn't very kind to me and my family. So, I would sit outside and, kind of the day, we kind of won the day, if you will, and I just sit outside and just think about things. And I remember just saying to myself, the sun's going to shine, man. The sun's going to shine. It's going to shine down, metaphorically, of course. It was, of course, shining, but not on me and not on my family. And I just kept saying that it's going to shine. I know it's going to shine down. And then it turned into this shine down onto this heart of mine. It just turned into a song. And when I was, kind of repeating those things over and over again out in my backyard, I was listening to a lot of Lenny Kravitz at the time. And I love what Lenny Kravitz did with rock and roll and some effects and synth. And I mean, talk about someone who genre jumped, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s. I loved what he was doing. So I wanted to write sort of a Lenny Kravitz inspired, pop rock song. And well, at least in my opinion, that became Shinedown.
Oh, very, very cool. Well, we're gonna listen to that song, and when we come back from the break, I'm gonna ask you about your songwriting process. So stay tuned for sure. All right, very good, very good. So tell us about your music. I ask everybody this, Michael, so don't feel offended if you can't answer. I'm still waiting to get the proper answer. I get the answers of, well, it just comes to me, and somebody's telling me that that's not the right way that you write a song. How do you write a song? Do you start with lyrics? Do you start with a melody? Especially since you're, I guess I don't want to call you a fairly new musician, but you're new from the pandemic, which So how would you start? Like, how do you start this, especially when your producer's 10 hours away?
Yeah, I've been writing since the early 90s, but like we said, I never recorded a note in my life and actually had anybody hear it until 2021, roughly. So that's strange. I'll tell you what, I'll do you a favor. I will tell you exactly how I wish my songwriting process works, and then I would juxtapose that to how it actually does work.
Okay.
And maybe this is the right answer, maybe not. But I wish, Bruce, I swear, I wish I could wake up on a Sunday morning with my acoustic guitar, sit under a tree with I still write things in a pen and paper, with paper and pen, and write a song about the day and about the sunshine. And I will tell you that is not at all how it works for me. For me, I get these crazy lightning bolt moments where at 3 a.m., something just like a melody or a chorus hits me, and I'm like, wait a minute, that kind of fit this line that I wrote the other day, and then I start thinking about things, and it could be from a song I heard that day in the car, just something, just lightning bolt moment happens, and it always happens at the wrong time, at the worst time. Yeah. And the funniest thing is that sometimes I'll like roll over and grab my phone and like try to sing something into the phone, and it's a mess. Or I'll try to get my notes app out and try to write something down. And the most fun is the next day trying to decipher, well, what was I trying to say? Or what key was I even in? Or whatever it was. It's a wreck. I'll be driving down I-95 or 79 or whatever, and all of a sudden something hits me. So I grab my phone and I have all these weird voice memos of me reciting the ideas and things. So the point is, I don't know why this happens this way. I have lightning bolt moments, and typically 24, 48 hours, that song is done. Now, maybe I'll change a word or two. I'll hear like a better phrasing or something maybe a little bit later, but typically, Bruce, it's that fast, and then I'm on to the next one.
Now, do you try to make, because songs can be personal, like some Taylor Swift writes about every relationship she's had, but then there's people who try to make it more general so it appeals to different people, different genres. Music touches all of us differently, but it's the one thing in the world that I think touches everybody in some way. So do you write it down and go, oh, that's a little too personal, I don't want people to know that? I mean, I've struggled with that doing a podcast for as many years as I have, right? Maybe I don't want everybody to know that about me, so what do you have to refine them to make them more for your audience, I guess, or for the general public? Or do you just keep it personal and go, hey, this is what I'm feeling at the time, and that's why I'm running it?
Yeah, I mean, a famous artist said that songwriting is open heart surgery, because for a moment of time, you're allowing someone into exactly what you thought, felt, saw, smelled, whatever that day. And it can be pretty daunting. It can be daunting. Now, I, I've been trying to write a little more personally and a little more literally, because I do use metaphor a lot to try to get what I'm saying, across to people, which sometimes you wouldn't really know exactly what I'm talking about, but generally you probably do. Like a song like Radiate has a lot of metaphor, but certainly that was a COVID inspired song. But I'm writing more personally, but I so far have not done anything that I felt like, whoa, like, wait a minute, it's either going to shun people or bring more people in. I would say maybe the most personal song maybe I've ever written, my producer and I just finished. You'll have it. It's going to be released in January.
Okay.
So that's how far ahead of the game we are.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's a very, very, very personal song.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's coming in January.
Yeah, let's talk marketing. There's a few people. You're very good at marketing. I must say that the stuff that you do, I don't even know how you have time to do all of that stuff, because I see you do it for other stations as well as ours, and little promos and thank yous, and I'm going, wow, like, I mean, that's a lot of work. I know how much work that is. So how did you get yourself marketed out there? Was it just learning things like Spotify and Facebook, or have you, I guess, what's the end goal for when you get so much, because you've got a great following and everything. I see it on your pages.
Yeah, thank you. No, again, like, over COVID, I didn't know anything about anything. So I just studied voraciously. I watched how other musicians were doing it. I had a couple of mentors, a guy named Steve Larkin and a guy named Marshall McLuhan, who were kind of mentors to me, and kind of, I didn't know what a Facebook business page was. Like, you just don't know any of this stuff. I didn't know what a reel was. And I didn't know that I needed a software program to make reels, other than my phone. I don't do things on my phone. I need a laptop.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that stuff. And I just watched how other people did it. And I made a bet with myself that if a radio station like you, and some of you people get hundreds of emails, whether it's a day or a week. I mean, you get a lot of knuckleheads like me saying, hey, play my stuff. If you take the time to program me, to put me in, to tag me, for the love of God, I'm going to make an appreciation reel with your logo to say thank you for choosing my song, which you have hundreds of other songs to choose from. And I know we're not in competition, but to me, it's all crap, because we are. You only have certain many songs you could play in a day, or in a segment, or in a show. And if I made the cut, I'm going to thank you for that.
No, I appreciate that. It is very hard to decide, and that's why I started this preferred artist program, which we're going to be expanding it here shortly. And I'm 99.9% sure you're going to be involved. That's okay.
Right on.
But because I get music sent to me every week by different labels, and I go, I can't just keep playing everybody. I try to play ones that fit with our stations, but there's not everything fits. And you're going, how can I promote some of these artists that are not only friends, but have been there since the beginning, doing jingles and giving me advice in the backside and all that kind of stuff? And how can I help them? And that's where I started that preferred artist program. So your marketing is working very well. Everybody sees you, and I like it. So how can we help you from a radio station standpoint? Because the radio stations that you hear on the radio, the general FM stations and stuff, they have their artists. They're tied to a label for the most. I'm not tied to anybody.
No, you're not.
How do I help you? I feel, okay, I'm playing their song. I struggle with how artists make money. And I'm an artist myself. I'm a cartoonist, a caricature artist, all of that. So I understand the arts and your craft and making money. I don't know how musicians are doing it. The days of, a label picking you guys up, paying you millions, and those days are gone. And I don't,
very gone.
At 5 cents or whatever they pay you for a stream. How do you make money doing this? Are we doing it for just the love of the craft?
It's very challenging. So ever since the streaming services came around, the money shifted. So think about this. Think about 20 years ago. I have a single. So I have a single out, Beautiful Day. It charted at #1 in the World Indie Music Chart a couple years ago in May. And so pretend that I sold 1 million singles of that, which, that'd be a pretty neat thing, for 99 cents. That's essentially $1 million. Right. Now, once I pay everybody and all the points and everything go down, maybe I get 100 grand, maybe I get 150 grand, maybe I get something like that. Right. Today, if I get 1 million plays, 1 million streams of that song, it's $3,000. Wow. That money shifted from the musician, from the artist, to who, to the people who run the streaming services, the Daniel X of the world, who make billions of dollars. Right. So the only way to make money these days are touring like a dog, playing as much as you can, Merch, which let's be honest, merch is kind of a joke. I mean, I don't know many people who are going to wear a Michael Botte Band t-shirt. I just don't. Maybe they're out there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're out there, but I don't know that many.
Right.
Or music sync licensing, which is becoming more and more popular to try to write music for movie, TV, film, that kind of thing. It's very, very challenging, which is why I have a full-time job that funds my creative side.
Right. But then that's a lot of work. Whether you're paying for social to get more exposure, you're sending stuff around, you're creating, it's a lot of work. And you've already got a full-time job. So to me, all this stuff, I understand. Our podcast for trucking, it's been going on 10 years. If I didn't have sponsors, as much as I love doing it, and as much as I love talking about trucking, I don't know if I'd do it for 10 years without making a dime. Like even the equipment costs. This is a $400 mic. Like everything costs money, right? So I think you have to make money. Is there a way that you're gonna, is it just enough streams? If I play the long game, 3,000 streams, $3,000 a year, maybe, no,
I mean, for an indie artist like me to get a million, I mean, I will wait 3 lifetimes to get a million streams. That's very, very, I mean, you can look at people all around my circle. I always say that, my indie music friends, they have the best music you'll never hear. And I hate saying it like that, but it's just true. Some of the music is so good. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about a lot of the people that I deal with. The music is so good, but there are 50, 70, 100,000, depending upon what service you want to believe, 100,000 songs uploaded to social media, to streaming sites every single day. You just get lost in this wash. You could have the best song in the world, but no one will ever hear it, which is why I do my best to try to, in thanking the radio stations, of course, I have a snippet of my song playing. Right. I'm not saying it's working that great, but I want the respect and the love and the admiration of the radio stations who may say at the end of the day, if I have to choose between, I have one last song to play, one last song, all things being equal, hey, that guy thanks me a lot, maybe he'll play me.
No, and I appreciate, I don't know about the other stations, but I certainly appreciate when people do that kind of work, and it's been great. And I've been playing your jingle a lot through our indie show. We're revising some of that stuff about the show, but it's gonna be great. Tell us about Mirror. So this one is one that came out here. It was, I think, about maybe 4 months ago. Mirror came out before Shinedown, I think.
Yeah, Mirror came out. Was it January of last year? You know what's funny? I couldn't tell you.
Okay, maybe.
I couldn't tell you. Maybe March. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, it came out a little while ago. Now, talk about genre jumping. You talk about Shinedown, which is more of a pop rock, Lenny Kravitz, synth. Then you have Mirror, which is my I had to write a big, angry, loud song. Just again, COVID wasn't very kind to me and my family. So Mirror is my big F you to the universe for life being so unfair. That's what Mirror is all about. And when I was writing that song, I was listening to a band called Chester Benefield's band, Linkin Park.
Okay, yeah.
So I was listening to a lot of Linkin Park. So I wanted that big piano, big, wide, fat guitars. I wanted that kind of Linkin Park, kind of Evanescence, big, gothic kind of sound. And that's what we went for in Mirror. So it's completely different than Shinedown. But, I had to write my big, angry song to the universe, and that's what Mirror is.
Well, we're going to play Mirror and find out how angry you were. And when we come back, I'm going to talk about these ISSA awards. I want to hear about that. So stay with us. All right. So, Michael, what'd you win this year? Was it a nomination, or did you win International Singer-Songwriter Award? What was it? I wrote the award down. I didn't write what you.
Yeah, very fortunate. In August, we had the ceremony down in Atlanta, and I walked away with the Bronze Award for Single of the Year for a song of mine called "Soulfully Appreciating." Okay. Which was written on the banks of the Ganges River in Rishikesh, India, back in 2003. Wow. That's how old that song was.
Wow. Congratulations. Tell me about these awards. I'm seeing them everywhere. I voted for artists through these awards. I get them sent, and some of the artists will say, hey, vote for me. How does this work? I'm not sure I understand how these awards work, because it seems to be just whoever gets the most votes. And if you can get your friends to vote 5 times every day, then on 10 computers, you're going to win. Is it that, or is it the talent? I'm not sure who's judging this or anything. I don't know anything about them other than
it's a great question. So hopefully you're a member of International Singer-Songwriters Association. It's free. There's radio stations members all the time, because you're one of the categories you could win an award. So I am the official Philadelphia Philadelphia representative for ISSA. This year, matter of fact, at the ceremony, I did the interviews on the red carpet. So not only was I nominated, and thankfully, winning musician, I was doing the red carpet interviews, which was great.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So it's an organization run by a woman named Tammany Dove. It's been around for many, many years. It's free to join. And every year they have this huge, huge award ceremony where people self-nominate. So for me, I self-nominated Soulfully Appreciating for a couple different categories. And then what I have to do is I have to ask people, of course, I hate doing that. I have to ask people to vote for me just to get into the finals. Now, once you're in the finals, now you're judged by a panel of industry professionals, producers, musicians. So unfortunately, a popularity contest is not going to win. It's only talent.
Okay.
So yeah, so your friends can get you into the finals, but then you have a whole panel of judges, and it takes them months to go through all of the songs and listen to them over and over. Then they all cast their votes, and then everything's a sealed ballot. At the ceremony, your name gets called or it doesn't.
that ceremony, that's the one down in Atlanta, Georgia, right? Yeah. Okay, so that makes more sense. I did not understand how that worked. And I go, well, yeah, I know you guys all have good music, but are you songwriter of the year?
No.
So
your friends can't get you that far. Nope.
That's good to know. I saw, you must know Caden Gordon. I think Caden might be the one that sent me your music first. I'm not sure. So
Caden was the first guy I met, one of the first people I ever met when I first started this gig over COVID. I just met Caden online, again, meeting all these people online. And he's become a friend over these years. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Because he was filling my inbox for a while there. As Caden, slow it down there, buddy.
Yeah, he's a hardworking kid. He's in college. He has a motor that doesn't stop.
Yeah, no, we did an interview with him, and I think he got nominated or won
he did
representative
radio station of the year.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. So, glad to see that happening. Glad to see things going on. So, where can people find you? Oh, wait. Before we do that, though, well, okay, let's go with that since I'm already asking. I have another question that I think you may have already answered, but okay. So, where do you play around your area or Philadelphia? Where can people see you play, or you do not play live? Or?
Yeah, the problem is, like I said, like the band, it's me and my producer who's 10 hours away. So, I mean, I could do like little acoustic things here and there if I wanted to, which I've done like many, many years ago, but I travel so much for work. I would be the guy that's always either postponing, changing, declining. Like it would be very challenging for me to do that. I think later in life, as I, get towards, not later, but a little bit later in life, maybe that might be the case. But right now, as far as finding me, the Michael Botte Band, that's what I use for every single social media platform, except for Twitter, because it was too big. It was like Botte Band, but I don't use Twitter for music really much. But Michael Botte Band is, you plug that in, you'll find me anywhere you want to find me.
Okay, so now back to the question I was going to ask. I don't know if this was the red carpet interviews that I was sawing, but did you start your own podcast, or was that the interviews that I just saw snippets of the interviews thinking?
No, so the interviews, so I have this sort of like side thing called On the Mic with Michael Botte, which I use, for the interviews. But I also run a podcast under another radio station called Blast Music 247. Okay. I'm the host of the Blaster Rock and Metal podcast.
Oh, nice.
We're on hiatus right now because we went through a bunch, and now we're on a little hiatus. We're starting a brand new podcast coming up, maybe a month or so, concentrating on new music. So I am affiliated through Blast Music 247 as one of their podcast hosts. And then ISSA asked me to do the red carpet interviews, which was great. So I'm just having fun just being on the other side of the camera as opposed to this side all the time.
Yeah, no, it gets in this is a lot of fun doing this, but like I said, somehow got to figure out how it's going to pay, because it takes all of your time, especially if you've got kids or anything like that. It can really...
It's a labor of love, as you know right now. It's a labor of love.
Yeah, well, it's great. I love the music that you're playing. So first of all, tell us where people can follow you. I think you just did, but is there merch? I know you got a website. I see you on Facebook probably the most, just because that's probably where I am. We're the same age. We understand Facebook.
It's easier.
Where would you like people to follow you? Do you have a newsletter or anything like that you would like?
Yeah, I mean, Facebook's honestly the great place because you can get, kind of notified on everything. And then, of course, I use Spotify. I know Spotify is a very polarizing subject to a lot of people. From a musician standpoint, no one likes it. But from a music listening standpoint, it's fantastic. Yeah. So I listen to everyone else's music on Spotify. So I'm a Spotify guy. But hey, however you listen to music, I don't care. You can find me on Amazon, iTunes, Deezer. It doesn't matter what it is. But probably Facebook's the easiest because you get introduced in That's where, most of the activity happens. And of course, with my professional page, which you probably have one as well, it automatically posts on Instagram for you. I'm not sure if I've ever once logged into Instagram, ever. It just doesn't.
I'm the same with Spotify. I'm on Spotify for all my stuff. I never log in. I actually don't go there. But you know what? There's so many platforms. So whatever works for everybody,
Doesn't matter.
Check it out there. If I asked you, we just played it last Friday. You just released it. It was on our show last week, and yep. we're gonna play it again. I want to talk about this song. Tell us quickly about If I Asked You.
Yeah, so that's my latest release. The 19th that came out, and for that, when I wrote that again over COVID. Again, I had a lot of material to run through. I was listening to a lot of a band called Incubus. I love what Incubus did in the late 90s, early 2000s, big guitars and the synth. And so we tried to have a little bit of that sound. So this song is just all about, people walk in and out of our lives and leave for different reasons. And sometimes people, leave and you just don't know why. So that's really what the song was all about, is when people, kind of leave you and you're not sure why, and you ask yourself, well, if I asked you, would you stay? Sometimes we don't ask. So that's what that's all about. Getting more in that modern kind of heavy rock genre, again, juxtaposed to Shinedown, which is so different than the other two songs, Mirror and If I Asked You. But we like the genre jump. That's how we call it.
Yeah, I don't ask too many questions, because I have a saying that careful what you ask for, you might get the answer. It might not be what you. Michael, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been absolutely a wonderful time talking with you and getting to know you. And I hope we're going to work closely more in the future. But you're doing a great job. Keep up what you're doing, and we really appreciate your music.
I'll say back to you. Thank you for exposing the music from people like me. And you're on my list now, brother. So we're stuck with each other.
All right, that's good to hear. I love to hear that. Thanks very much.
Thank you, man.
Hope you enjoyed that interview with Michael Botte. He's a great musician. Check out his work at michaelbotteband.com. And of course, if you want to hear a lot of it, you can hear it on leadpedalradio.com. All right, my friends, thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of the great interviews that we have with artists, authors, and musicians, learning about how they build their. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for listening to the Cashing In on Creativity podcast. If you want to see video snippets of these artists, please check out our YouTube channel. And if you're on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, follow us over there on our socials, and you can see more content from all of these great people. All right, my friends, take care, enjoy, and good luck with your business. Bye for now.